First ever game at the new Moody Coliseum, and they are ready to go. Morera against Daniels. SMU ball.
You see UConn play primarily man-to-man. It'll be rare if they go zone. But against a team like SMU, you think about how big they are. Could be an adjustment the Huskies make if the Mustangs are able to score inside early.
Early second chance for Morera. He couldn't hit. Nick Moore, the smallest guy on the court, has the rebound. And he fires. Board for Tyler Olander of UConn. Daniels had it stripped away. Morera going to work. Off to the senior Nick Russell. Tough catch on the deck for Williams. And our first whistle is a tie-up. That'll go to UConn. Second year for Kevin Ollie, the former Larry Brown player in 1999 to 2001 with the Philadelphia 76ers. 31 up, 12 down for him. And he considers Larry Brown one of his major mentors in basketball.
Well, for a guy that's had as much success, collegiately than in the NBA, for 12 years, he was so respectful. And everybody we've come across has nothing but nice things to say about Larry Brown and the development that he's done for other coaches and other players. So you always hear about that. How many guys he's brought along and what he's done for his players and staff.
A couple of his guys on the bench are former players of his in the NBA, like Eric Snow, George Lynch. A Carolina guy like Larry Brown. And UConn gets the first bucket with DeAndre Daniels, 2-zip Huskies.
Shabazz Napier creating off the bounce. Something that SMU was very aware of in their shoot-around this morning about that drive and dish from the Huskies. A good help side defense for the Mustangs, but good job by Daniels in knocking down the open shot.
Moore follows with a dish. Well, Nick Moore for SMU, 0 for 4 last 2 games from three-point range, still well over 50%. If he gets on track, UConn is really going to struggle. And
you can't lose track of him either. I mean, this guy's only 5'9", so he's not the tallest guy out there on the floor. A good give and go. Daniels can't finish. But I like the spacing from UConn. This team was trying to find a way to really get motivated yesterday in practice. As you take a look at Brown and what he's done already here at SMU, and think about a guy who's won an NBA championship, an NCAA championship. That's just success, and no reason and no question why he's starting to get a terrific recruiting class coming into town.
Only guy active that's ever won an NBA title and an NCAA title. Kansas and the Pistons back in 2004. The attack, Russell's foul.
Miscommunication there between Shabazz Napier and Olander on the screen. Olander hedges too hard, and you see just leaves a wide open lane for Nick Russell to drive. That's a defensive adjustment UConn cannot afford. And SMU is going to be a team that's going to look to drive, look to score inside any chance they get.
Well, with UConn's rebounding numbers, not what they've been in the past with guys like Josh Boone and Emeka Okafor, there's a lack of bulk down low. They got some height, but the wide body ability isn't there.
Olander at 6'10", 230 is probably their biggest guy on the floor. It makes it tough, to defend, and you're a team that is still trying to figure out as much success as you've had. They've had a few missteps lately, and Kevin Ollie yesterday in shoot-around trying to remind these guys, hey, we got a game tomorrow. You better get up to play because these guys are ready to go.
Moore has all 5 for the Mustangs. Second meeting all time between these 2 new conference rivals. Off the Olander screen, here's Daniels to his left. Couldn't finish. Defy couldn't tip it in. Quick trigger for Moore. Well, when he gets hot, he's not afraid to shoot. Defy, a 64% three-point shooter, couldn't ring it up. And here come the Ponies. One and done typically for UConn in the first 3.5 minutes. Morera to the rack.
The patience and execution from SMU on that fast break was terrific. Your first and second options aren't open. Okay, then keep the play going. Keep it moving. Morera recognizing early some of his opportunities to draw Olander out and take him off the dribble. That's an advantage that UConn's going to have to adjust to. They're going to have to get some help side.
One of the top scorers on the team, Morera, 9.5 a game for SMU. Up ahead fake, Napier, drive and kick. Olander might have traveled. A couple of SMU players were looking for the walk.
Yannick Morera with the drive. Olander can't stay with him. It's one dribble too many. Too late for Olander to recover. SMU on top by 5.
Museum on the SMU campus. It's called the Wave Sculpture. It's 129 bronze bars that perpetually move with a reflecting pool underneath. You have one of those.
It looks expensive. No, I don't have one of those because it looks expensive.
7-2, the Mustangs with the lead as UConn has only hit one field goal so far, and the rebounds 6-2 for the Mustangs early.
Coming out of this timeout, Connecticut's got to find their groove out there. They've got to find some grit, and I think they were surprised by a Houston team that was ready for them, and maybe UConn wasn't quite ready for what Houston had to bring. It's toughness. It's something Kevin Ali said we didn't have it. We're trying to find it and bring it back in again. And again, this is a top 25 team, so everybody is coming after you.
They went down 21 the other day on New Year's Eve at Houston. Came back, tied the game in the second half. But Tayshaun Thomas, the Cougars were too much, and they went to 1-0 in the conference. Drive and kick, 3 no good for Williams. And another rebound for the Mustangs, who've out-rebounded all but one of their opponents this year. Morera attacking early, and a foul.
You see the adjustment from Connecticut. Philip Nolan coming in to try and guard Morera, but again, he's just too good. 35, little KD action. He looks like Durant out there. Again, able to put the ball on the floor and just cradle it. The defenders can't get their hands on the ball. He seems very calm and relaxed out there. I think it's a good move by SMU to look to go inside early.
Kevin Ollie might be having flashbacks. He mentored Kevin Durant in the NBA. They have stayed friends. 5 for Morera, 5 for Moore. The first game at the new Moody Coliseum in Dallas. Lassane Croma has checked in, the George Washington transfer. The setup, Napier, offensive rebound, and a foul first as Daniels got pushed. Well, Daniels scored 12 in that game against Houston, but he was just 3 out of 10. A rough shooting day for most of the Huskies.
I think the Huskies are still trying to find that third scorer. Shabazz Napier and Ryan Boatwright, your primary scorers, but DeAndre Daniels led the team in scoring 4 times this season. They just need somebody to step out of that role if and when Shabazz is struggling or Boatwright's in foul trouble. Whatever the case is, they need that third guy to step up and be big.
Here comes Omar Calhoun, and that's a guy that they might expect some more from. 11 points a game last year as a freshman, down to 8 this season. Only 7 minutes in the Houston game. Yeah,
Calhoun's a guy that he's an 18 to 20 point a night guy if he wants to be. At the end of the season last year, he hurt his right wrist at the end of the regular season. We don't know if maybe that's still bothering just a bit. Looks like we got a foul, headed back the other way.
They got Daniels away from the ball, his first. And when you have a team that went down 21 in the first half in the last game, you have to watch those heads starting to sag, right?
Body language is everything. I was A little shocked yesterday just watching the Huskies come in. They seem so flat to me. And Kevin Ollie was constantly having to remind them, we've got a game tomorrow. You got to get up and get ready to play for this. And that's when you need your leaders, your vocal leaders. Shabazz Napier, you got to get in the face of some of these guys and get them up.
Bad news for Kevin Ollie's clipboards. He broke one in Houston, said he might have to smash a second one here in Dallas. And a foul called against the Mustangs. They've got to travel before the foul on Moreira. UConn just 1 of 5 from the floor, 5.5 minutes in. Nice little wraparound. Napier down low, got the bucket for Nolan.
Terrific vision there by Shabazz Napier, understanding the SMU defenders are trying to trap off that screen, hedge very hard, and he sees a slight opening and gets that bounce pass on the inside. Watch again, see just a slight hesitation there from SMU. Sean Williams coming over to show that he was going to double, slides back, and that was just enough time for Napier to get the bounce pass.
He uses his head so well with the dribble, doesn't he?
He does. He's just a guy that keeps his head on a swivel. He always knows what's going on, and that's so important for a point guard to not only know what you're doing, but you're carrying the ball, you're worrying about defenders, and you've got to know where everybody is at a certain given point in time. The slightest opening, he's able to get the pass in.
Marcus Kennedy's checked in. Villanova transfer and a nice game Wednesday night in Cincinnati. Kennedy had it stripped and got it back. He is fouled. Tightly called early on. That's the 6th UConn foul. Second foul on Nolan. And here comes Olander once again. Nolan's been under the weather, had the flu-like symptoms on Tuesday night in Houston, still not 100%. Kennedy working with Olander. Tough fadeaway. They'll work through Napier and Boatwright. They play about 65 minutes a game combined. Boatwright off the floor. Napier goes to work. Again, rebound for SMU. No second chances for the Huskies. Lead feed to Napier, 1-on-2, and he's fouled going up. Sunday, ESPNU is a Pac-12 ACC doubleheader starting at 6 Eastern. Washington State takes on Arizona State, followed at 8 as Marcus Page and Carolina take on Wake Forest. Those games also live on Watch ESPN. How about Wazoo? 25 points the other night.
Yep. Well, it's Arizona, so it's going to be against somebody, one of the best teams or the best team in the country, but Washington State missing their first 16 shots. That just had to be a painful game.
It's their lowest output since 1938 against Idaho. You remember that game. It was a big one. First point for Napier today, and UConn is within 3 after an early 7-0 Mustangs run. You would imagine weathering the first storm today would be important for UConn with all these people and a new Coliseum and the renovations. Getting by this first 8 minutes could be big.
I don't think it's anything new for UConn to see every team's best. You know, it's a top 25 team, a team that's used to winning national championships. They know what it takes, so it's going to take some adjustments. And it starts on the defensive end of the floor. We've seen 2 straight possessions here of Husky turnovers. I'd say they've done a really good job here in the first 8 minutes of settling in, finding the shots they want, and turning up the intensity too. That's a big part of it for the Huskies.
Frazier off the bounce. Rebound for his classmate Moore. One more. Frazier, a very good three-point shooter. 0 for that trip.
Connecticut working inside out defensively, forcing SMU to take a couple outside shots. You know, they don't want to get away from their game plan. Marcus Kennedy in right now. Unique Marrera on the bench. So maybe that's the difference in the game, but I think the strength of the Mustangs is going inside.
10 to shoot for Boatwright. Got into Kennedy, and Boatwright wanted a foul. Russell, got it! Just his 9th three of the year, and the Mustangs take the lead again. Back cut for Calhoun, nicely done. SMU and UConn in the first ever game at the new $47 million renovated for number 17 at UConn. And Larry Brown in his second season leading the Ponies down here in Dallas. And he's got about 15% of the assistant coaches in the state of Texas over there on the sideline. But a great staff. I mean, Eric Snow, George Lynch, former NBA guys. Jerry Hobby, a standout at Fordham, former assistant for Tom Penders in Houston. And a tremendous job by Larry Brown to get his guys over on the sideline with him.
Makes a big difference when you've got a staff with that much experience and that kind of background. You know, to know that you've got the NBA at your fingertips when you come to this university makes a big difference in recruiting.
Everybody you talk to around this program says, before you see practice, Larry Brown's got the energy of a 30-year-old. And then you look at him in practice, and he runs the thing just like he's been doing it for the first time, and there's no energy lapse at all.
Well, apparently he walks everywhere around campus. He takes like 4 or 5 walks a day, parks in the furthest parking garage to walk to practice. It's an endless amount of energy for Larry Brown.
Got his 200th college win a couple of weeks ago here at SMU. He was at UCLA. Actually had a chance to take the UConn job back in 1967, declined, and went off to the ABA, the Carolina Cougars, a couple of years later. Russell on the drive, lost the ball, out of bounds to Connecticut. Fifth SMU turnover after 11 in the second half at Cincinnati on Wednesday night. Olander got 2 in the air, couldn't finish. Giffey got a piece, one more chance and a foul. Looked like Cromon might have lost it on the way up.
And Kevin Ollie very happy with the effort of his guys. Second and third chance points with the ability to get to the rebound. It's going to be big for the Huskies. I mean, that's been their weak spot. This is a team that is about even when it comes to rebounding margin. Something Ollie was stressing yesterday. It was a point that they didn't hit on at Houston. Rebounding, toughness, and defense, they all go hand in hand, and they start with effort. You know, you can be a good rebounding team if you've got good effort. Size always helps. That wins out, but beyond that.
Cromon just a 50% foul shooter, goes 1 for 2 there, and UConn has its first lead since 2-0. Cannon Cunningham is checked in, the junior. Down low for SMU. Moore had it stolen, intercepted by Olander. Boatwright couldn't handle the dribble and got it right back. Giffey for a better shot. Calhoun couldn't hit.
And you wonder if Giffey was thinking about the miss just a couple minutes ago to dish it off. Because if I'm Kevin Ollie, I'm saying, Giffey, you take that shot anytime you get it. And for a guy that shoots 63% from 3, yeah, fire it up.
ESPN's Journey to the Journey, the season-long spotlight on games that'll impact the tournament. Tuesday at 9 on ESPN. Two Big Ten heavyweights come together. Aaron Craft at number 3 Ohio State. Keith Appling at number 5 Michigan State. ESPN's Journey to the Journey, presented by Sonic. Also live on Watch ESPN. Should be a dandy of a ball game out there in Big Ten country. Aaron Craft may have had his best game as a Buckeye about a week ago in that game against Purdue. And Michigan State, tough team as well.
Michigan State averaging 83 points a game, and Ohio State holding teams to 55. But what I see when I watch both of those teams is a terrific amount of balance. A couple guys from Ohio State in double figures, the Clinton Ross, Linzel Smith Jr. And from Michigan State, 4 guys in the starting lineup in double figures.
Every year, Tom Izzo seems to have a great team out there in East Lansing.
Zone.
Should be a 1-and-1 here off the foul on the floor. The officials come together. That was foul number 7 against SMU. Daniel's been very good from the line. Just 5 misses in more than 30 tries this year. Shooter's tough that time.
You're about to get a jinx. You know, anytime you ever say how good somebody is, they miss the next one. You just got lucky.
You think I got that type of control over the game?
You got mind control. You're like Debo.
Daniels 2 for 2, and UConn's on a 6-0 run to take its largest lead. This crowd's looking for any reason to get back in it.
If they're going to get back in it, I think they need to go back inside. There's been a lot of outside shots and some turnovers here. But give credit to UConn and their defense, because they're moving a lot better. They're playing terrific help side defense right now, and they're shutting out the inside. SMU's had a really hard time getting the ball in the paint and getting a clean look.
Kennedy goes to town. Couldn't hit. Another offensive rebound for the Mustangs. Randall Head, the junior transfer from Big Ten country in Illinois. Kennedy into the double. Little drop off, and Cunningham travels.
SMU's got to have more purpose with the basketball. There's not guys standing around. There is some movement to the offense, but every time a different player catches it, it's almost like they're immediately looking to pass. And if they don't have a pass open, they're saying, okay, well, maybe I'll try and score. And UConn's defending well. They just don't seem to have a purpose like they did in the first 5 minutes of this game. And UConn's adjusted, starting to play a little tougher defense. And SMU's starting to realize why this team is ranked 17th in the country.
Started the season 9-0. Daniels. Here's Boatwright. And the body control gets him 2 free throws. Foul on Cunningham, his first.
Ryan Boatwright starting to play better. We'd had a kind of a slower start to the season, but solid outing against Houston. 19 points and 9 assists, and that's what you want to see out of your 2 guard. He's kind of a combo guard. You look at him and Shabazz Napier. Either one can run the point, but what I love when I watch Ryan Boatwright play is he is so tough. He's not afraid to go into traffic. He's not afraid. You want to hit him, and you saw he was able to keep his balance in the air. And that's a tough player to have that kind of body control, to be able to even get the shot off after taking that contact. It's pretty tremendous when you see what kind of athlete he is. Just 6 feet tall.
You can see why Kevin Ollie likes him, especially with how much he was talking about needing toughness after that Houston game. Seven turnovers for the Mustangs, who had just 6 in the first half on Wednesday night. UConn putting some pressure on the ball here. Moore off the hop step, and he'll go to the foul stripe. It's a pretty strong SMU team, 10-3, but a great player on the way in for Larry Brown, one of the top 5 guys. Moore 2 for 2 from the line. He has 7 of SMU's 15 under 8 to go. First half for the second meeting all time between UConn and SMU. Boatwright and Napier still have no field goals today. They have 4 from the foul line. Daniels couldn't hit. Napier has the rebound. You mentioned he's the leading rebounder for this team. Just finds the ball.
So much of it is just the pursuit of the basketball. He's trying to read it off the rim and going to get it. You know, with a quick first step as a guard, find a way to average 4 to 6 rebounds a game. You just read the ball right as it's coming off the rim.
Daniels. Rebound for Cunningham. Moore the feed to Kennedy and a goaltend off the weak side help.
You know Dikembe Mutombo is in the house. He does not approve of this. This is a finger wag. No, this is goaltending. Learn from me.
Does he finger wag when somebody else makes a block that's not good?
Maybe he's here. We got to watch. And that was one of those moments, just, you know, he walks in, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Dikembe Mutombo's here? That was pretty cool.
That's the type of thing that Larry Brown does, though. He's a very magnetizing guy. That's a tough shot in the corner. Boy, Napier and Boatwright, when they get untracked, very dangerous. Screen and roll, Cunningham. A little bit wide of his range. And here comes Boatwright. See if that Boatwright make on that last possession gets those 2 guards going.
Let's see what SMU can do off this turnover, because as I mentioned a couple possessions ago, they look a little hesitant when they're catching the ball. And Kennedy looking more assertive when he catches it, just immediately looking to see what his options are. Can I drive? Can I swoop the ball down low, get under the defense, and attack the glass? And in my opinion, SMU is settling for too many jump shots here in the last 10 minutes.
Especially with the size advantage in terms of bulk that they have down low.
But again, you got to see why that's happening. You know, for one reason, Moreira out of the game for a big stretch, and UConn's defense got better. They found their toughness again, preventing SMU from driving. In addition, they knew that's what was going to come. As soon as an SMU inside guy has gotten the ball, they've really bodied up well and forced them to kick the ball back outside.
Kennedy missed the front end. Rebound for Sterling Brown, and he goes right back to the rim to get to the line. Previous foul on Olander was his second. You saw Kenton Facey check in, and he's the one who grabs that foul. Freshman from Jamaica, only plays about 6 minutes a game. Facey. Freshman from Proviso East High School in Chicago, Sterling Brown, 2 for 2, offered the 7th SMU offensive rebound of the day.
Well, neither team shooting well. I think we expected to see some tough defense out of SMU. But for a team that scores so many points in the paint, that's not a good start for the Mustangs.
Cromar off the front iron. Moore's got it back. Bring it up. Timeout, UConn. For Nick Moore, and Kevin Ollie calls that timeout. Maybe trying to implement some things he learned from his former head coach, Larry Brown, who he played for with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Just every team, getting the opportunity to coach against Larry Brown, somebody that I look up to. If I if I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't him, you know, giving me an opportunity to play for the Philadelphia 76ers. You know, also, you know, asking him what I should do and getting his advice when I had opportunity to coach in the NBA or coach in University of Connecticut, and he telling me to, you know, coach at your alma mater. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him, so I have a great deal of respect for him.
That speaks to what Larry Brown said the other day, that he feels in his heart, his own heart, that he's a college coach. And that advice to Kevin Ollie plays out with that.
And how about, too, when Kevin Ollie was telling us basically his first couple of days with the 76ers, it was around Thanksgiving. Larry Brown invites him over for dinner, and he looked and he's like, me? You sure you don't want to ask Iverson to come over? I'm nobody.
He said, I just signed a 7-day contract, a 10-day contract. What do you want? I've only been here a couple days. Boatwright. Nice twisting move in the lane.
That's what I love, that aggressiveness from Boatwright. It's like a dog out there. He's going to find a way to get to the rim. And you know Kevin Ollie got in the faces of his players, lit them up in that timeout. You're going to see how aggressive they were on offense. They're doing the same on defense.
Extra pass to the corner, 3 more. Sterling Brown. Too much contact up front. Brown whistled for that foul. UConn led 18-13. SMU has come back to lead by 3.
Got to make those adjustments. That's the freedom of movement changes that are prevalent in college basketball this year. Your guy's driving, you better not put your hand on his hip because that whistle's going to blow. And especially to do it so far away from the basket. You've got help side. Just sit down a little more and try and stop that driver more with your chest than with your hands.
Especially when you're in the bonus already as well, and you're going to get somebody like Promah to the free throw line. Don't forget, coming up after our game, Oklahoma State, Kansas State. The Cowboys down a couple of guys. New Mexico, which lost just a couple of games in the non-conference. Taking on Colorado State, then to the Valley, Indiana State, and Evansville. Full slate of games coming up on the U. Foul called. Boy, they're trying to get into Moore's pocket, and too much contact for Boatwright.
You see UConn ice cold from beyond the arc. SMU shooting 50%. And one of the reasons SMU is shooting 50%, they're getting great looks. The advantage is when you've got a team that scores so well from the inside, you're able to spread the floor, right? So you put a guy like Sterling Brown in the corner, you drive, he sets up. If he's got a nice stroke, you can knock it down. There's so many adjustments you can make when you've got a team that's big that can score inside. It's a huge bonus.
SMU picked 6th in the league preseason. Feels like a team with a lot more upside than that.
No question. This is a team you can suspect they're going to get better as the season goes on. The fundamentals are there. The drive is there. Any team to me that can defend and rebound, you can only get better. Terrific pass from Napier again, looking back door.
And they got a tie-up. Crowd thought Brown ripped it away cleanly. 7,000, a sellout crowd. Lots to be happy with for the Ponies down here in Dallas. They lead numbers.
To a program where you know they're investing in the university, in the athletics program. I mean, just the renovations that they've done, you can see why there's such a draw to come here and watch basketball. It's big, but it's not too big. In the 7,000, you're going to be loud. The students are sitting right across from us. I love any arena where the students are basically right on top of the floor. That, to me, that's everything. It says all about it. One of the best places in the country I've ever called a game is at Pittsburgh. The Oakland Zoo sits right behind you.
Moore got another. His third three. (13 of the 30 for Nick Moore. Daniels responds. tough pull-up for Russell, maybe a little earlier than Larry Brown would have wanted.
Yeah, no question. That was a quick shot, and especially in the last 3 minutes of this first half. You want to end on smart shots because obviously UConn is a team, even if they get down by double digits by 20, they're always going to come back, and they're always going to go back to their best guys, to Boatwright, to Napier. So far, DeAndre Daniels having a decent first half as well.
Ticking down to 2.5 for the first half. SMU holding UConn at 35% shooting. Late in the shot clock, 12 to shoot for Napier. Roma got some space.
Good heads-up play. Napier keeping the ball on the right side of the floor, looking. You got to flash to where the open spots are. And then when you get the ball, don't hesitate. It's a comfortable shot. Maybe willing to pull the trigger.
Williams got the roll, his first bucket. Staying with the Huskies with 20 to shoot. This SMU team, you mentioned the size advantage, outscored, as you mentioned, in the one-on-one, all of its opponents in the paint this year.
Pretty amazing to think 2 times this season already they scored more than 50 points in the paint. Sometimes don't even reach 50.
Napier trying to refeed Daniels. SMU ball. Don't forget, on Sunday, ESPNU's women's college basketball features a doubleheader, pair of SEC, ACC conference games starting at 1. Vandy takes on number 13, South Carolina, number 8, Maryland, number 10, UNC, 3 o'clock Eastern time. Both games also live on Watch ESPN. Williams couldn't finish, and a whistle off the rebound going the other way. That Maryland UNC game should be very entertaining. A couple of high-scoring ACC clubs there.
One of the best players in the country, Alyssa Thomas. 4 career triple doubles. Sorry, I didn't want to leave anything off the floor there, but you know, North Carolina, some good freshmen in that club. Diamond DeShield, Stephanie Mavunga. From what we're hearing, Sylvia Hatchell, who had been diagnosed with leukemia, is making a comeback and planning to come back for the ACC tournament.
Fantastic to hear about Coach Hatchell. Daniels the miss. Don't forget, coming up at the half, we have one of our first upsets in the American. Matt Schick will tell you about that. Some top teams in action around the country. And let's see if Texas is getting strong at the expense of the state of Kentucky. We'll find out at halftime. Coming up in 73 seconds.
I was on the sidelines for the Louisville-Miami game, the Russell Athletic Bowl, and I have never seen Charlie Strong with more emotion, and rightfully so. I mean, that Louisville team played out of their minds in that game. It was great to see the finish for the Louisville team that was good, challenged in the American, lost to UCF, but really gained it back, and Charlie Strong would be a terrific addition to Texas.
Back-to-back blocks there for Brima, and UConn can take the lead with a 3. Roma challenged at the rim, and SMU on the run out. 4 on 2 for the Ponies. A kick ball.
A couple times, Shabazz Napier really getting into the grill of his guys, and you know, maybe that's something they need. It's not enough sometimes to hear from your coach on the sideline. You need a guy on the floor that can get everybody riled up, and you see it continuing in the huddle. There have been some missed defensive assignments so far in the first half from Connecticut. Kevin Ali maybe telling his guys to settle down and regroup.
Now, Napier could be his 2nd straight game with just 2 points in the first half as they christen New Moody Coliseum, a place Larry Brown's very familiar with.
What's special for me, I actually played in Moody in 1967 when they had the Dallas Chaparrals in the ABA, and it's exactly like Duke Indoor Stadium. It's like the University of Washington, Oklahoma State, the same architect. It's loud. We're renovating it. It's going to be state of the art. Our challenge now is to get fans in there, and I'm hopeful that with the conference we're in and the schedule we have and hopefully with our team that people will want to come see us play, because it's a great place to play basketball and watch a game.
Beautiful new building, $47 million put into it. They've got some new loge boxes you can see up at the top of the arena, and they have more Mustang logos than anywhere else in the country. Even the basketballs during practice have Mustang logos on them.
I don't think it's going to be a challenge to fill up the seats here. I really don't. Didn't seem to be today.
Cannon Cunningham lifted out, and Brima the rebound. This is the first sellout in this building since Bob Knight brought Texas Tech in here back in 2001. Napier working it down to 10. Roma wants to give it up. Now he turns. Open three, Boatwright. UConn leads. Well, the Huskies have the advantage, but Nick Moore has been very difficult to the guys from Storrs. 15 from Moore, the sophomore. The first half, our score 33-32 UConn. Now let's go to the studio for the sports.
He's trying to find that grit, but certainly that man right there, Shabazz Napier, needs to just find a way to get himself involved in the offense. Sometimes you just got to take over.
3 assists to go along with those 2 points from the foul line for Napier. Daniels well away from the basket. And he gets fouled backing in on Russell. DeAndre Daniels Jr. from LA, and that's one of those areas that Kevin Ollie would like to recruit even more with his NBA ties.
Well, they say when he's in the game, he makes them a different team. He's the guy that can put the ball on the floor or step out and shoot. He gives them some versatility and some help to Boatwright and Napier.
Rebound for Russell for SMU. Spun by Boatwright for 2.
That's where you got to have your help side defense come from the weak side. You always have to have a foot at least in the lane, know where your drivers are. And UConn trying to defend off the screen and roll and a good spin move to finish the play.
Daniels buries a 3. 11 for DeAndre Daniels. Nice play by Olander to get a tip there. Off the crossover, Boatwright is fouled.
The crossover here by Boatwright. You see that commitment and all that power going to his left leg. And I love when I watch guys cross over that do it well, because they cross the ball over before they change the direction and weight in their body. That's what makes a crossover effective.
They talked it over. It's an offensive foul against Boatwright. And so SMU takes over. Moore was open for a moment. Off the slash. Moore is fouled. That's the 3rd on Boatwright.
Completing his pace that he had his hands off. I did not see Boatwright put his hands on Moore to get that foul call. And maybe in the course of the drive, he got his body up to him. But he's saying, listen, this is where my hands were the whole time. I didn't touch the guy. You got to rely on your help side defense. If you feel guys beating you off the dribble, and Moore can get low at 5'9". We'll take another look at it here. I mean, it's still the body.
If anybody, Napier reached in and caught him on the elbow.
It's tough for UConn. And Boatwright going to go ahead and sit down on the bench. And Napier only taking that one field goal in the first half. This is a time where he's got to step up, and for SMU, it'd be a great time to face guard Napier and force somebody else to beat you on the floor. Good give and go.
Napier couldn't finish. UConn wanted a foul. Moore got it back. Russell. Kennedy wanted it. Brown was down there as well. Sterling Brown couldn't hang on. Whistle away from the ball. We'll stay here with Connecticut. Shot for Olander. Rebound for Omar Calhoun, who's checked in. Hands everywhere as Calhoun was trying to get to the rim.
And a foul from SMU, but watching them take their shoot-arounds this morning, that's exactly what they anticipated. A high ball screen from UConn to start the offense. Shabazz Napier, when he drives, he's not afraid to finish, but he's also not afraid to look across court and to see who's open on the other side. But SMU planned for that. They were aware for it. Putting UConn on the line, but defensively, they know what's coming.
Calhoun only played the 7 minutes in the game at Houston on Tuesday. A game UConn was down 21 in. 2 for 2 that time for Calhoun.
UConn going to use a 1-2-2 3-quarter court. Let's see if they look to trap. Some light pressure to slow this SMU offense down. Nick Moore did a good job as a floor general today, not rushing things too much, understanding when it's a good time to shoot, when it's a good time to pull it back and reset the offense.
Moore with 9 to shoot. Russell with 4. Tough shot. Didn't draw iron. And UConn ball either way. Roma. Offensive foul.
And hustle play for Nick Moore. Sprinting to the spot, setting up. That is a perfect textbook charge right there. This guy gives you so much hustle, and he's so dangerous because he really can hurt you from a lot of places. Obviously a good three-point shooter, that 55% from the floor. But he's a good defender. He knows when to give up the basketball, and he's just gritty. The transfer from Illinois State really used that year that he couldn't play to make his game better.
He's one of the top assists guys for Illinois State his year there. He's got 19 points today. Back and forth we go. Daniels, quick fire. His three-point shot just hadn't been there today.
Mustangs continuing to stay hot from behind the arc here. And UConn's getting good looks. That 3 for 10 has not been heavily contested shots. They just aren't in a rhythm where they're knocking it down, and so many times inconsistency can be contagious.
Off the curl, Frazier. Boatwright on the bench, 3 fouls for UConn. See if Napier goes to work. Croma driving on Manuel to draw the foul. Coming up after top 70 team.
Yeah, Oregon's hot. You know, the UConn team lost to Stanford earlier in the season. It's good to see the West Coast making a comeback. It's always good, I think, for basketball when you got teams, you know, out there, especially, you know, an Oregon team that you always hear about them in football. But you know, good to see, and good to see so many undefeated teams too. So in college basketball, and the Big Ten really running things, though it seems.
There you see Dana Altman's Oregon team, number 10 in the country. Wichita State still undefeated. Don't know if anybody's going to challenge them this year in the Valley. And we'll see Michigan State and Ohio State coming up journey to tourney this week, Tuesday. Miss for Croma, who's just 1 for 3 from the line today. Boy, Frazier's always looking for a shot. Gave up on one early in the possession. Off the bounce, Frazier had it stripped. Out of bounds, staying with the Mustangs, 9 to shoot. Pete Frazier, freshman from Kimball High here in Dallas, a McDonald's All-American, won a state title there. And so he's very well known in the Metroplex.
9 seconds left, so plenty of time to come out and set a screen or an alley-oop. That would have gotten this place on fire.
Out of bounds to UConn. Don't want it on fire. It's the first game in the new building. They'd have to re-renovate it now.
Good point. You have to be so literal, Casey. Come on.
Yeah. SMU leads by 1 game. It's gone back and forth. 6 ties. Ryan Boatwright still on the bench for UConn with 3 fouls. Kevin Ollie trying to keep him in this one for later on. Croma got the tip, get 5, finishes.
Molander getting out of that play, looks like he was limping a little bit, coming back down the floor. A good second and third chance effort there for UConn because the play developed and there was good help side there from Sean Williams. They were able to stick with it and defy to get that put back. And they need him to get hot from the 3.
Frazier, tough 3. Napier wanted to respond, 1 and done. Frazier! Timeout!
Frazier first with the big 3, a freshman here out of Dallas, loves playing for the hometown crowd and wants to change the direction. And stop and start with the speed. The hesitation is great. And Kevin Ollie needed a timeout to talk this one over with his Huskies. And the fact that he only scores 9 points a game, who cares? Aaron Kraft is one of the most exciting players to watch just for his on-ball defense. So talented and gritty. You're talking about a guy that's so tough.
Russell got his hand in the cookie jar there, his 2nd foul, and SMU continuing to squeeze teams in the American defensively. Lima battling for the ball, out of bounds, off of UConn. We saw Napier frustrated earlier with a lack of catching ability down low, maybe there. That's another one that he's chalking up as Boatwright comes back in.
Well, it's taken a lot of effort for Napier just to get by Nick Moore. He's able to stay down so low, and his help side from those ball screens, it's making it difficult for Napier to find the usual gaps that he can. And then your guys have got to hold on to the basketball. You get a dish like that down low.
Rebound for Boatwright. See how UConn responds. Napier was bumped. 6th SMU foul in the second half.
Been more trying to help off the screen and roll. Larry Brown can't believe it, but that's exactly the kind of calls that they're looking for with this freedom of movement. You cannot place your hand on the hips of the offensive player.
That makes Napier and Boatwright really tough people to guard this year.
It is, because they're so low. They change direction so quickly, and then they gain real estate after a dribble or two. They're not guys that waste effort or time. When you put the ball on the floor, it's for a reason. And another mishap, too. There's Brima. The mishandle there from Gaffey. That's got to be a play they make.
On the back end, on the catch, right?
It's both. You know, I always say if there's a turnover, it's just as much my responsibility to let you know it's coming as it is for yours to catch it.
More fouled, and that'll take us to a timeout. SMU with a 4-point lead over UConn and Shabazz Napier.
And to know what they can do for your team to have those halftime adjustments, stuff that players can learn and coaches can see, it's really amazing.
Beautiful new venue here in Dallas. More on Daniels. Largest lead for SMU. Brima fouled. Kennedy got him with the body.
That was where the reach of a 7-foot Brima who went up and snatched the ball. It looks like a suspect pass when Napier let it go. And Brima finally able to go up and just grab that ball. And keep in mind, this is a player who has not spent a lot of time playing basketball. Grew up a soccer player out of Ghana. He's only been playing organized basketball for 4 years. I'd say that's pretty good. You're playing Division I basketball, top 25 team in 4 years.
He looks fairly fluid on the court for being a young guy. He's not played very much. 1 for 2 for Brima. More to Russell. Napier off the pull-up. Got it! First field goal for Napier. What a recovery by Groma.
Terrific athleticism. And defense is going to be what gets Huskies the win. With that last basket, Shabazz Napier now with 4 points, where you see obviously he's averaging 16, a lot more, but that SMU defense still going strong. Just 36% shooting on the day for the Huskies.
And a foul called on Daniels. Put 2 hands on Moore.
You think at this point in time, especially in conference play, guys will start to adjust. But again, new play, new conference season. These rules are being emphasized, so guys have to learn to adjust. You can't put your hands on them, but you can stop players with your chest, and then your help side defense got to get better too.
Moore wanted to pull the trigger, couldn't find the ears on it. Boatwright and Napier, just 4 combined field goals in the game. UConn down 3. Maybe his best look today wouldn't go. Foul called on the pass. SMU will hang on. Here's a look at the new American Athletic Conference travel partners in Texas that UConn has visited. SMU in Houston, Memphis with a huge win over Cincinnati. Huge win over Memphis, I should say, at Memphis today. And the 2 Florida teams, a very widespread conference.
Yeah, no question. Obviously going to look different next year as you bring in East Carolina, Tulane, and Tulsa, and you lose Louisville and Rutgers. Louisville to the ACC and Rutgers, of course, to the Big Ten. Kennedy, and Manuel couldn't finish.
Blocked by Olander. Out of bounds to SMU.
Good job by Olander to stay strong down there and to go straight up, to not foul. It's been an issue for the Huskies early in the first half. SMU able to score on the inside, but we've seen a couple times Mustang's able to get behind the defense of Connecticut. The Huskies, if they're able to shore up the inside, I know SMU shot pretty well from the outside today, but I think the advantage goes to UConn if they're able to force SMU to shoot from the outside.
Range to the miss. Just like you were saying, UConn gets a one and done. Top reverse wouldn't go for Calhoun. Manuel leading the break.
That's an easy way to get some points in the paint. Spin out the transition.
Well, Larry Brown's offense is patient, but sometimes they will run with you.
And it starts with rebounding. You've got 4 jerseys in the paint there looking for the basketball, and Ryan Manuel picking up the extra gear. Shooter, he only takes about 3 or 4 shots a game. He's a complete player. He'll give you points, rebounds, assists. And good job by SMU to get out and get running where they might have gone stagnant from the outside. Of course, Nick Moore continues to be impressive here. The opening goes of the American Athletic Conference games, just shooting well from the outside. He's such an efficient player, Jason. He's able to create for his teammates, but he takes the right shot. I've yet to see him force maybe more than 1 shot here this afternoon. He's just finding space, and the Huskies are having trouble guarding him, and he's having much success staying in front of Napier and Boatwright.
His cheesiness on the offensive end is in part due to Larry Brown, essentially saying, don't take your first good shot. We need to reverse the ball, right?
There's a lot that can be said for patience in an offense. You know, just because it's an open shot doesn't mean it's the right shot. Take the best one available.
Daniels slid the foot. UConn led at the half by a point. SMU now up a nickel. Kennedy couldn't finish. 10th offensive rebound for SMU.
You see how active their hands are. It's not even about going in there and being bigger or taller or stronger. getting a hand on it to tip it to a teammate. Just keep the ball alive to keep it out of the hands of a Husky jersey.
Moore got hammered on the arc. 2 free throws coming for the freshman from Chicagoland. 3rd foul on Olander. UConn trying to avoid a rivalry in the country.
And Carolina doing a great job this season to get into the free throw line. 32 times a game they're shooting free throw attempts. Of course, those big wins this year over Louisville, Michigan State, and Kentucky. I don't think Belmont's a bad loss. I think Belmont's a good team, and these other 2, of course, UAB and Texas. You see Connecticut not able to really get it going from the floor tonight, but also not from the three-point line. But I think Boatwright, I've seen a look in his eye the last couple minutes. He is trying to find his time to break loose. He's been in attack mode, and Napier is trying to find his shot as well. SMU has really recovered well off those screen and rolls. They're hedging well, and they're recovering.
Out of the double team, a turnover. Napier almost looked shocked when the second defender came.
Well, they know that they're going to start their offense off the ball street, and that's exactly what SMU worked on for a good 20-30 minutes today in walkthrough. And you know Napier's going to try and get low off that screen. Need to look to drive, dish it out, and go cross court. But all those options SMU prepared for in their shoot around this morning.
Prime, a great recovery, but a 3rd chance. Russell, got it! Tip ball. UConn will hang on.
So once it gets tight in this game, there's still a ton of time left, but UConn in the past leaving it up to Boatwright or Napier, and oftentimes it's too many one-on-one situations, and now it's a 1-and-1.
And that's the 4th foul on Boatwright. Off he goes. 3 field goals made today for Boatwright. 0 in the second half. Boy, Kennedy had such a great game at Cincinnati Wednesday. 12 points, 9 boards, 3 blocks. Just the 2 points today. Napier goes to the line for a 1-and-1.
Well, as a player, you have to understand that that's how the game is being called. So you adjust. You keep your hands back. You sit down. You try and stop a player driving with their chest. And again, count on your help side defense. Trying to say Napier just tilted his head back and acted in the foul, but there was still some contact there.
Now comes Nick Moore for SMU, the high man with 19. Six for Napier. UConn trying to climb back.
And that to me is an extremely telling statistic. That means you're turning it up in the second half. You're really digging in when it's crunch time. And you see rebounding UConn 12-8 here in the second half. And when things get tight, this UConn team, You got to make sure that they stick together. It had been an issue of toughness, right, the other day against Houston. So if it's tough on the road, you got to look to your guys, Shabazz Napier, your leaders on the floor. It can't be a situation where you're pointing fingers down the stretch. Got to find a way to bring your guys together to get the win. For a UConn Husky team, if they start the American Conference at 0-2, it's going to be a tough go.
Boatwright comes back in. Calhoun is out. Well, Kevin Ollie said yesterday, he said, look, toughness isn't punching a guy in the face. Toughness is setting a screen. Toughness is diving in the lane. Toughness is all of those sort of intangible things.
That's right. Toughness is getting punched in the face and then coming back down and hitting a three and just smiling the whole way back down.
Napier, the pull-up. Olander couldn't hang on. In transition, Croma finishes.
Well, we saw an SMU team hang with Cincinnati, but down the stretch, some costly turnovers that cost them the game. You got to make sure if they want to get out of here with the win to value the basketball. This last 5 minutes so critical to make sure each possession, again, you're getting the right shot. Not an open shot, just the right one.
Out of bounds off of Giffey. 10 turnovers so far in the game for SMU after 11 in the second half on Wednesday night. Off the power dribble. 2 for Williams. And Napier fouled. Looks like that's going to be the way he's going to get his points today, getting to the line.
Yeah, that was smart because SMU's defense hadn't yet gotten back on transition and set up. And Nick Moore was there, but he was giving Napier the entire left side of that lane. Napier saw it and just went from fast to faster. His change of speeds is one of the things that's so impressive when you watch him play. He's a fast guy, but when you see him turn it from one degree to the next, it's so impressive. And he and Boatwright both so quick.
Daniels back in, the junior. Giffey out, Olander out. 2 seniors, the remaining championship guys from a couple of years ago when they won it at Reliance Stadium in Houston. Kevin Ollie actually took his team past Reliance Stadium when they were in Houston a couple of days ago and took them on a trip through Jerry World while they were down here, where the championship will be this season. Volleyball for 2, Sterling Brown.
The Mustangs continuing to stay active on the glass. The offensive rebounds are what got them the lead in the first half, and it's what's keeping them up in the second.
Timeout, SMU.
SMU continuing to fight. They're going after the offensive glass. And look at the defense. You see nothing but red jerseys down there. And Nick Russell, the heads-up play, diving on the floor. Dallas's finest in the house today. They love everything they're seeing inside a newly renovated, beautiful Moody Coliseum.
First sellout in this building since Bob Knight brought Texas Tech here in 2001. Lot to bring you on ESPNU today. We'll head to the Little Apple next. Oklahoma State taking on Kansas State. It's a 4:10 Eastern time tip there. New Mexico and Colorado State, and also Indiana State, Evansville, an 8 o'clock start time. Kendall Williams of New Mexico put up 46 against Colorado State last year. See what he can do as a redo in Fort Collins coming up 6 Eastern. Moore to Russell.
Well, first of all, I have no idea how Nick Moore got out of that double team. A little crafty guy from Winona Lake.
Whistle away from the ball against the Mustangs. It's on Moore. Coaches say don't dribble into the trap and out of the trap. Well,
it's the handoff here, and DeAndre Daniels was trying to face guard Nick Moore, and through the double team, just able to weave his way out. Somehow he found some space on the sideline there. Able to tiptoe and go in for the alley-oop. You know, it's plays like that that make him so dangerous. He's so elusive. You know, 5'9", 170. He's got great stockiness to him. He's strong and he's quick. And he's able to keep his balance.
Prima goes 1 for 2. The lead is 10 for the Mustangs, trying to pick up their inaugural American Conference win. Russell. Bang.
Shabazz Napier yelling at his guys from the top of the key. This UConn Huskies team is really falling off here, but well, that was Boatwright actually. These guys have been trying to find a way to get back into this game. SMU obviously with all the momentum. UConn, a top 25 team, they're going to figure out a way here to keep this thing tight.
Nick Russell had 3 in the first half for SMU. He's got double figures after the break. The Ponies christening new Moody Coliseum in a big way. Game in Big 12 play. Oklahoma State, see how they react to 2 big losses. UConn, by the way, is just happy to go home to take on Harvard on Wednesday. 8,600 miles. It started in Seattle, had a red eye in the middle, and down here to Texas for about a week.
Yep, been here since Monday. And think about this, too. These guys have only spent time around each other and haven't seen students since basically around Christmas time. And that can be a very wearing situation on your team. And to try and keep that energy up, that spirit up, it's really tough when you're traveling. And how many teams and programs across the country just the last couple of days have had issues with traveling with all this snow coming in. It's been tough for a lot of teams out there. A lot of delays. 17 days, a long time to be away from home.
One for 2 for Nick Moore, who's got 20.
Both the Knicks today, Nick Moore and Nick Russell, really outplaying the 2 stars from UConn, Boatwright and Napier, who have shown up today.
It's the best the Knicks have played all season. UConn gets an easy one, and the lead is 8. Free throw is going to be huge down the stretch. Both teams in the double bonus. Coming up, women's college basketball Sunday on ESPNU. SEC play at 1 o'clock. Vanderbilt taking on South Carolina, number 13 of the country. Then the number 10 Tar Heels taking on number 8 Maryland. Doubleheader of action. Both live also on Watch ESPN. Vandy, a big win over Georgia to open SEC play. South Carolina went to Arkansas in 1.
Best wishes for Vanderbilt's Rebecca Dahlman, who was out indefinitely. They had to remove a blood clot, averaging 11 points a game for the Commodores. So we wish her all the best and a speedy recovery.
Napier trying to take it in his own hands. Here comes Brown. Quick shot for Daniels. 1 and out for UConn.
Well, props to Nick Russell for his help side defense, because Boatwright had a very sellable ball fake, a one dribble, and Nick Russell was right there for that help side. That was a brilliant play there.
Kennedy lays it in. SMU by 13 over number 17 UConn. Let's check in on what's going on with number 1 and 2 in the country. Matt.
Yeah, Jason, as we told you earlier, number 1 and number 2 both at home. Both were in some trouble. Arizona now pushing ahead, up 6 on Washington, and Syracuse at home. 10 seconds to go, up 3 on Miami. Those two look to remain 2 of the 7 remaining undefeated. Jason.
Matt, thank you. They're dwindling, but looks like Syracuse and Arizona will hold serve. Number 17 UConn trying to avoid an 0-2 start, but the points to paint have been too much.
Well, SMU has looked to gone inside from the beginning. Then they went to their outside shot. It was working for the 3, but they have found their sweet spot here down the stretch. That's toughness, and that's a tremendous play by Nick Moore to stay in bounds and find his buddy Nick Russell for the alley-oop. Sterling Brown with the exclamation point here. The Mustangs really running away with this. You see the difference in points in the paint. It looks like they're going to do it again, outscoring opponents in all 13 games this season, twice 50 or more points in the paint.
$47 million to renovate Moody Coliseum. And a great start as they open the doors today. SMU leading 3-time national champion UConn. Larry Brown on the court trying to get his guys to put some heat on UConn.
SMU going to change things up. A 2-3 look here in the last 2 minutes of this game.
Prime of the follow. When do you start to foul here?
I think it's time to foul right now. I mean, you're down double digits here. I don't think you've got much time to waste. You got to try and get guys on the line, get them to miss, find your worst free throw shooters on the floor. That's what you got to be discussing in your timeouts. And Marcus Kennedy, I think, shoots somewhere in the 50s. 60% from the free throw line. You want to foul that guy.
Moore blocked by Brima. 2 to shoot. Kennedy back door, got it to go. This will stay with UConn off the deflection, and Kevin Ollie just trying to get some energy from his Huskies. Boatwright bags a 3. See when UConn decides to foul, down 10, under a minute to go. .15 to shoot. Steal for Napier. Boatwright. And Napier fouled on the follow. 38 seconds to go. That was a lot of precious time coming off.
A lot of extra effort. You try and go for a reverse move when a 5'9" Nick Moore is guarding. You just go straight to the basket. There's no need for all that extra flair at the end. Even though it stops the clock and gets you to the free throw line.
5th foul from Moore. He's finished today. 20 points for Nick Moore, who came in just 8 for his last 20 and got hot early against Connecticut. Two for two for Napier. UConn has to foul, and they get Kennedy. SMU would go to 1-1 in the American. UConn a very tough 0-2 with a loss here today after the defeat at Houston Tuesday night.
They knew it was going to be a tough battle coming in here with the new arena. A lot of new energy. The refs are going to take a look at the last foul here. See maybe how much time should be on the clock.
That's what they're looking at to see how much time should be on the clock. See the hand go up at 37-5.
Looks like they'll set it to 37-7 here. And for SMU, what you're trying to do now is not foul, defend the three, box out and rebound. I mean, it's basically what you've been doing all game.
Kennedy a strong second half after 2 before halftime. The Villanova transferred from Philly. Napier explodes. Count the bucket. Well, he'll likely be an NBA player one day.
It'll count in the NBA. That'll be a long continuation. But that's where you see his quickness, his explosiveness, able to put on the floor, take contact, and hang in the air. But today been a tough go for Napier.
And he missed the free throw. 85% foul shooter. Kennedy makes again. Transfer from Nova by way of Brewster Academy, where Larry Brown's daughter actually goes. Don't forget, coming up, Big 12 action, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, right after our final 30 seconds. UConn trying to make a comeback of it. Boatwright. Prime of the save. 15 seconds to go. Proma. SMU the rebound with Kennedy. And in the first game at New Moody Coliseum, SMU wins its American opener. That's all from Dallas. Final score is 74-65. We'll send you out to Bramlage Coliseum, number 6 Oklahoma State and Kansas State in the Big 12.